Have you ever woken up at 5 in the morning, feeling like today would be another day of survival, rather than truly living? Have you ever stared at the ceiling before your feet even hit the floor and thought, I don't know if I can do this? If you're here right now, in this exact moment, maybe it's because something inside you is screaming for a truth that nobody wants to say out loud. You're tired, truly exhausted. And you know what's even more terrifying? Everyone expects you to keep being strong, smiling, holding it all together, while inside you can barely hold yourself together. But what if I told you that God isn't frightened by your exhaustion? What if the moment you think everything has fallen apart is exactly the moment He can finally enter? Because there's a secret that changed my life and can change yours today. God doesn't run away from your brokenness. He runs toward it. While you're trying to patch up the broken pieces with duct tape and strong coffee, He whispers, "This is exactly where I come in. It's in weakness that my strength makes sense." So before you close this video thinking it's just another beautiful but distant Christian message from your reality, give me just 30 more seconds. Because today, I'm going to show you 5 practical steps that will help you transform this exhaustion into surrender, this frustration into intimacy, and this emptiness into fullness. And if you feel this could help that friend who's also at her breaking point, share it with her. Sometimes God uses us to remind someone else that she's not alone. And if you're not subscribed yet, hit that button now, because this space exists precisely for us to walk together in this journey of real faith, not empty religiosity. Now tell me something. Have you ever stopped to think about why it's so hard to believe that God really loves you? Not that greeting card kind of love, but the kind of love that pursues you, protects you, corrects you when necessary, and never, ever gives up on you. Let me tell you what I discovered when I finally stopped pretending everything was fine. Think with me. You wake up, make coffee, pack lunches, drop the kids at school, work, pick them up again, make dinner, help with homework, put everyone to bed, and when you finally sit on the couch at 10 o'clock at night, completely drained, a voice whispers deep inside, "Does God still care about me? Do I still deserve His attention after everything I failed to do today?" I met a woman who told me, "I pray while folding laundry. I read the Bible on my phone while waiting in the Starbucks drive-thru, and still I feel guilty because I think God deserves more." You know what I told her? That she was confusing God's love with human performance. Because the love the Lord has for you doesn't depend on your ability to keep the house organized, to have hour-long devotionals, or to always have a smile on your face. God's love is covenant love. Do you know what that means? It means He signed a blood contract with you. Not a contract that expires if you fail, but a covenant sealed at Calvary, where Christ said, "It is finished." John 19:30. He's not waiting for you to get it right to start loving you. He loved you first. He loved you when you were still lost. He loves you now, in this exhaustion, in this silent desperation that nobody sees. So when you wake up and feel that weight on your chest, before even checking your phone or thinking about the day's to-do list, whisper this: God's love for me doesn't depend on what I'm going to do today. He loves me because He chose to love me, and that choice is irrevocable. Let that sink deep into your weary heart, because when you understand that this love is firm, secure, unshakable, something starts to change inside. And you know what comes with this covenant love? A jealous protection that guards you even from yourself. Because God isn't an insecure boyfriend hoping you'll make it on your own. He's a father who calls you back every time you get distracted by things that will never fill the void. And that leads me directly to the second step. Did you know you can be worshiping things without even realizing it? I'm not talking about statues or strange rituals. I'm talking about what you run to when you feel empty. I'm talking about the Instagram you open 50 times a day looking for validation. The work that became your identity. The food that became your comfort. The unrealistic expectations you place on yourself because you think being perfect is the path to being loved. Let me give you a very practical example. You just had a terrible day. The kids fought the whole time. You burned dinner, argued with your husband, and you're feeling like a complete failure. Where do you run? To your phone? To Netflix? To the fridge? Or do you stop, take a deep breath, and say, "Lord, I need you right now"? God's word calls these things broken cisterns. Do you know what a broken cistern is? It's a cracked well that can't hold water. You dig, fill it with effort, with expectation, with attempts. And when you go to drink, there's nothing there. It's empty. Because these things were never meant to quench your soul's thirst. As Jeremiah 2:13 says, "We've forsaken the fountain of living waters and dug out cisterns for ourselves, broken cisterns that can hold no water." And the worst part is that these false loves are subtle. They don't show up with a sign saying, "Hi, I'm an idol and I'm going to destroy your peace." No, they come disguised as good things. They come as the need for control. If I don't organize everything, everything falls apart. They come as productivity. My value is in how much I can accomplish. They come as approval. If so-and-so didn't compliment me, I failed. So today, right now, do this exercise with me. Close your eyes and ask, "Lord, show me what has been taking your place in my heart. What have I been seeking first when I feel alone?" And listen, not with fear, but with courage. Because identifying these false loves isn't condemnation. It's liberation. It's like turning on the light in a dark room. You finally see where the obstacles are that make you stumble. And when you identify these broken cisterns, something powerful happens. You realize that your true strength was never in yourself. And that brings us to the third step, which is the place where many of us resist because it seems like weakness. But actually, it's where God's strength can finally work. I need to ask you a difficult question. Why do you think you need to handle everything alone? Who taught you that asking for help is weakness? That depending on God is a sign you're not trying hard enough? Because the truth nobody told you is this: you were never created to be self-sufficient. Never. God didn't make you to hold it together alone, to be your family's Wonder Woman, to solve everything without faltering. He made you to need Him. Not because He's selfish, but because He knows you were designed to function connected to the source. Like a phone without battery. No matter how expensive the device is, without power, it doesn't work. There was a day I was at my limit. I had just put the kids to bed after a chaotic day, sat on the bathroom floor and started crying. And in the middle of that crying, something inside me broke in a good way. I said, "God, I can't try to be strong anymore. I can't do it. If you don't hold me, I'm going to fall." And you know what happened? Peace. A peace that made no sense with the mess of my life. Because I had finally stopped fighting against the only truth that sets free. Christ is sufficient. He is sufficient for your tiredness, sufficient for your anxiety, sufficient for your guilt, sufficient for that emptiness you try to fill with more and more activities. As Paul says in 2 Corinthians 12:9, His grace is sufficient for us, for His power is made perfect in weakness. And when you stop trying to prove you can do it alone and start resting in Him, life doesn't automatically become easy, but you finally stop carrying weights that were never yours. So today, in this moment, I want you to take a deep breath and say this out loud. Christ is sufficient for me. I stop fighting. I rest. And repeat this whenever the voice of pressure comes. Whenever you feel you need to do more, be more, try more, because the strength you need isn't in you, it's in Him. And the more you rest in this truth, the more you realize you need to cultivate it daily. Which brings us to the fourth step. Have you noticed how we make time for what really matters? We say we don't have time, but spend 20 minutes scrolling through Instagram. We say we're too tired, but watch 3 episodes of a series before bed. I'm not judging you. I do this too. But we need to be honest. The issue isn't lack of time. It's priority. And look, I'm not talking about waking up at 4 a.m. for a 2-hour devotional. I'm not asking for perfection. I'm talking about cultivating real intimacy with God in the middle of your messy routine. You know those 10 minutes while you have coffee before everyone wakes up? That's enough time. Those 5 minutes in the car after dropping the kids at school? That's enough time. That moment while you're waiting for the water to boil? That's enough time. I met a mom who started reading 1 psalm a day while showering. She left her phone with the Bible open on a bathroom shelf and read it quietly while getting ready. The other day she told me, it was the best decision I ever made, because now, when the day falls apart, I remember the verse I read in the morning. It's like God prepared me for the battle before it started. Communion with God isn't about ritual. It's about presence. It's about you stopping, even if just for 3 minutes, and saying, Lord, I need you today. Speak to me. Remind me of who I am in you. And you know what's amazing? The more you do this, the more you realize He was always speaking. You were just too busy to hear. So try this today. Choose a moment. It can be morning, afternoon, evening, and set aside 5, 10, 15 minutes, whatever you can manage, to simply be with Him. Read a verse, say a short prayer, thank Him for 3 things, and watch how this gradually changes your heart. Because the more you draw near to Him, the more you understand what I'm going to tell you now in the 5th step. Let me ask you, what keeps you up at night? Is it worry about the kids? About money? About health? About the uncertain future? Because if you're a mom, I know your mind never completely shuts off. Even when you're sleeping, part of you is on alert mode, ready to wake up if someone needs you. But here's the truth that will change everything. The same God who is jealous for his love for you is also jealous for his protection over you. He doesn't sleep. He doesn't doze. He doesn't take vacations or have bad days. As Psalm 121:3-4 reminds us, he who keeps you will not slumber. He who keeps Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. And every worry that steals your peace, every fear that paralyzes you, every what if that haunts you, all of it has already passed through the filter of his love before reaching you. This doesn't mean nothing bad will happen. It means nothing happens without the knowledge and permission of a God who loves you more than you can imagine. And when something difficult comes, it's not because he abandoned you. It's because he's shaping you, refining you, preparing you for something greater. There's a story that changed my perspective. A friend received a scary diagnosis, and in the middle of fear and uncertainty, she started praying like this: Lord, I don't know what's coming, but I know who holds my future. And if you allow me to face this, it's because you're going to sustain me through it. And she was sustained, not because it became easy, but because she learned to trust that God cares for her on the inside before fixing things on the outside. So when anxiety comes, and it will come, because you're human, stop and breathe. And remember, no enemy, visible or invisible, touches my life without first passing through the jealous love of my God. He guards me, he protects me, he goes with me. And the more you repeat this truth, the more your heart rests, the more your faith strengthens, and the more you realize you were never, ever alone. So now, after walking through these 5 steps with me, I need to ask you the question that really matters. What are you going to do with all of this? Will you close this video, go back to your routine, and keep trying to carry alone the weight that only God can sustain? Or is today the day you finally let him enter your brokenness? Because look at what happens when you choose to surrender. You stop pretending everything's fine. You recognize that God's love for you is an eternal covenant that doesn't depend on your performance. You identify the false loves that have been stealing your peace and decide to turn back to the true source. You give up exhausting self-sufficiency and rest in Christ's sufficiency. You cultivate intimacy with him in small moments of your day, and you trust that he protects you with a jealousy that no human worry can shake. This isn't theory. This isn't cheap motivation. It's the difference between surviving and actually living, between dragging through the day and walking with purpose, between feeling alone and knowing, deep in your soul, that you never were and never will be abandoned. Maybe today is the day you stop running from your weaknesses and start seeing them as doors through which heaven enters, doors through which Christ approaches, doors through which grace finds you even before you have strength to seek it. So take a deep breath with me now and ask yourself, what in my routine do I need to surrender? What area of my life is trusting more in myself than in the Lord? And what could God do if, finally, I let him move freely within my fragility? If this message touched your heart, I want you to do something. Go to the comments and write a word, a phrase, a prayer. Tell me where you are in this journey. Tell me which of these 5 steps spoke to you most. Because I want to pray for your life. I want us to walk together in this. And who knows, your story might be exactly what another woman needed to read today. And if you're not subscribed yet, hit that button now. Turn on notifications. Because every day God has something new to pour out on your weary heart. And I want to be here to remind you of that whenever you forget. May the Lord embrace you today with the same jealous love that moved Christ to die for you. May he transform your brokenness into channels of grace. And may you never again doubt that you are deeply loved, completely known, and eternally guarded. I'll see you in the next video. And until then, rest in him.